Hi YouTube. So recently a man named Jack Norris, who's a registered dietitian and executive director of an organization called Vegan Outreach, made this statement. He said, and I quote, "People say I'd go vegan, but I can't give up cheese. Then go vegan except for cheese." Now I have a problem with this statement for a number of reasons. Number one, that would be going vegetarian, not vegan. If you're going to be eating cheese, you're no longer a vegan. And number two, this statement just puts an obstacle in people's mind who might want to go vegan and who may not have even tried to go vegan yet. It reinforces the notion that non-vegans are helpless before the all-powerful cheese. This notion was also reinforced by Dr. Neil Bernard, a person I really admire. He talked about casomorphines in one of his books, and he stated that cheese has an opioid effect. And he went on to say cheese is dairy crack, a statement even his colleague agrees was sensationalist. But research just doesn't seem to support the notion that cheese has morphine-like effects on the body. There's this off-cited study by the University of Michigan. The headlines about the study talk about cheese as being addictive, yet the actual study simply asked subjects to rank food from most to least addictive. Not exactly a well-designed or objective study. The researchers found that pizza was number one, and other highly processed foods ranked very high as well. So was it the cheese, the fat, or the refined carbohydrates that people found to be so addictive? In 2009, the European Food Safety Authority reviewed the potential health impacts of casomorphine. What they found was that for the casomorphine to have any effect, it has to be injected directly. Because when eating the cheese, the opioid has to pass through intestinal barrier, then undergo biotransformation in the liver, travel to the brain, cross the blood-brain barrier. They found little to no opioid effects in a study on adults, and even with infants, the bovine casomorphine had very negligible effect. Cheese breaks down to both agonist and antagonist opiate peptides, meaning there are peptides that fit into opiate receptors and peptides that block those receptors as well. Dr. Bernard also referred to a study of a synthetic morphine antagonist called naloxone. He reported that the injected naloxone reduced interest in cheese, but when I went back to look at the study, I found it actually just showed a reduction of interest in chocolate, sweets, and fats, but not cheese. So I don't see this in any way as an addiction because you don't build up a tolerance for cheese, you don't have painful physical withdrawal symptoms for cheese, you don't have problems maintaining relationships while eating cheese, you don't undergo a distortion of your personal values while eating cheese, which would all be indications of an addiction. So there's this popular notion that one should always listen to your body. While I do believe in honoring the wisdom of the body, I think we have to first learn to trust your body's intuition. In many cases, your body is just wrong about what's best for it. So I think what's going on here can better be called a craving. So let's talk about cravings. So here are some things which may help with the craving for cheese. Number one, find out how cheese is produced. Once you see the suffering, abuse, and death in the dairy industry, you can't unsee it. Use vegan cheese. Number two, there are so many and they have really improved recently, and there are even ones that melt. Number three, think about if you would be comfortable breastfeeding from your own mother today. Obviously not. It's disgusting to us, and it should be. Number four, inform yourself of the adverse effects of cheese, primarily heart disease and cancer. Number five, distract yourself with exercise, which actually does produce opiates in the brain. Number six, don't let yourself get hungry. You're more likely not to think and just grab anything when you're hungry. The good news, most craving stops in 3 weeks. And there are so many of us that have actually conquered this craving, even up against the almighty cheese. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.